The Pittsburgh Steelers have released their initial training camp and preseason depth chart, and rookie running back Caleb Johnson is currently third behind starter Jaylen Warren and backup Kenneth Gainwell. Now, it's important to start by mentioning the obvious. Training camp depth charts do not have any impact on the Week 1 depth chart, nor should too much be made about where a rookie is on this initial piece of paper, considering seniority generally wins out early on. Having said that, it's possible that head coach Mike Tomlin and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith used this opportunity to send Johnson a subtle reminder. As if to say, everything must be earned, and the starting/backup jobs will not be handed out to the 2025 third-round pick. After all, first-round defensive lineman Derek Harmon is listed as a starter already, so it's not like the Steelers are unwilling to project a draft pick on a first-team unit. On top of that, after the depth chart was released, Steelers Now beat reporter Alan Saunders commented that there were no real surprises compared to what we've seen at camp, and Johnson has often been working as the third-team running back behind the two veterans. That's not a knock on the rookie. It's just the reality of the situation, as both Warren and Gainwell have shown their experience and already have a leg up on Johnson in pass protection. With all that in mind, Johnson has received some first-team opportunities at Steelers training camp, and more will come if he's able to prove to Tomlin and Smith that he deserves them. Steelers reporter says Kenneth Gainwell's stock is up at training camp. Can rookie running back Caleb Johnson climb the Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart before Week 1? As Johnson attempts to climb the Steelers' RB depth chart ahead of Week 1, the first man to beat will be Gainwell. Unfortunately for the rookie, Gainwell is having a nice summer and was just listed among the Athletic's Mike DeFabwa's rising stocks on August 5th. Gainwell caught the Steelers' eye last year, when the former Philadelphia Eagles running back beat Pittsburgh in the flat repeatedly, DeFabwa wrote, after noting that the veteran signing stock is up at camp. OC Arthur Smith has taken full advantage of Gainwell's diverse skill set, lining him up as a receiver and throwing him the ball out of the backfield, the Steelers beat reporter continued. He'll be another chess piece in an offense that likes wild cards. DeFabwa concluded that I've also been struck by Gainwell's feel for outside zone runs, where he has good patience and the quick twitch necessary to hit holes when they form. Adding, he could be carving out a large role in the offense. Caleb Johnson and the entire Steelers rushing attack have struggled so far. Within the same Steelers training camp stock report article from DeFabwa, the reporter noted needed improvements in the run game within his stock down section. Through 3 practices and pads, the offense has struggled to find anywhere to run the ball, DeFabwa reiterated, as this has been an issue he's brought up several times in recent practice reports. Maybe the Steelers' remade defensive front is just that good, the Pittsburgh media member acknowledged. But as Sunday's goal line period showed, even when they only need a yard, it's been tough sledding. Whether it's Johnson, Warren, or Gainwell running the football, the Steelers need more push from their rushing attack as we approach Week 1 of the NFL preseason. Though he had doubts about his ability to remain a viable starting quarterback at 41 years old, former Pittsburgh Steelers safety and current ESPN analyst Ryan Clark is starting to become a believer in Aaron Rodgers. Clark, who was at training camp Tuesday at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, tweeted that he was getting some Super Bowl 45 flashbacks from Rodgers during practice. Rodgers put on a show at times with his arm, firing the ball all over the field. For Clark, Rodgers can still spin it. Of course, Clark is referring to the 31-25 Green Bay Packers win over the Steelers in Super Bowl 45 in Dallas, a night in which Rodgers lit up the great Steelers defense, making some absurd throws throughout the game. Rodgers threw for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns, hitting Jordy Nelson, 29 yards, and Greg Jennings, 21 and 8 yards, 4 touchdowns in the win over the Steelers. He was rounding into form that season, going on the following season to win the first of 4 NFL MVP awards and one of 4 first-team All-Pro accolades. Now with the Steelers after 2 tough seasons with the New York Jets, Rodgers is looking to end his Hall of Fame career the right way, going out on his terms while playing some good football. Clark's assessment of Rodgers' arm talent in training camp isn't new. Many have talked about Rodgers' quick release, his zip on the ball, and his ability to make all the throws still. But for a guy who once played against Rodgers and was the victim of some absurd throws in the Super Bowl, Clark can see things from a different perspective. And it all leads to the same conclusion. Rodgers can still spin it at an elite level. Health is the key with Rodgers, especially playing behind a young offensive line that continues to grow. If they can keep him upright and healthy, Rodgers should be able to put together a strong season under offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, especially with the weapons added this offseason in WRDK Metcalf, T. Jonas Smith, and running backs Kenneth Gainwell and Caleb Johnson. There is no real question about how much is left in Rodgers' right arm, though. Nor should there be with how he closed the 2024 season with the Jets. That's still a strong part of his game, and he showed it Tuesday in practice. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been one of the most talked about NFL organizations throughout the course of the 2025 offseason. One of the biggest headlines that was attached to the franchise was involving a rare-made trade that sent George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. Many expected the wide receiver to be dealt prior to, or during, the NFL draft, but after a move didn't occur, it was believed that he would play out the final year of his rookie contract in the Steel City. Now, he is teaming up with CeeDee Lamb in the NFC, and a duo has been formed that could be very dangerous. New Cowboys teammates CeeDee Lamb, left, and George Pickens, right, stand on the practice field as the duo gets some work in during 2025 off-season activities. Unfortunately for fans of the Cowboys, the two wide receivers have not been the talk of Dallas training camp. Team owner Jerry Jones is playing hardball with edge rusher Micah Parsons, and the talented defender recently requested a trade. The decision to not pay Parsons yet has left Jones under intense scrutiny, given the fact that the pass rusher is one of the league's best. In a recent appearance on ESPN's Get Up, respected analyst Dan Orlovsky found a way to relate Parsons' situation to quarterback Dak Prescott, insinuating that if Jones does indeed trade Parsons, Prescott's Super Bowl window in Dallas would close. If they trade Parsons, and I don't think they do if they trade him, it declares the Dak Prescott era over, Orlovsky said. This team has no shot of winning a Super Bowl without Micah Parsons. No shot. And if you're doing it, it's to acquire a ton of first-round picks, so you have the ammunition to go get an Arch Manning of the future. The Steelers are set to have 12 draft picks in 2026, which gives the front office plenty of options when it comes to bringing in the next franchise quarterback. Instead of drafting one, however, could an available Prescott be a target for general manager Omar Khan? Orlovsky believes trading Parsons away would upset the Cowboys' best players. There's no way that you can go to your locker room with Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, some of the first-round picks you have on your offensive line, Trayvon Diggs, and go, hey, go beat Philadelphia when you don't have Micah Parsons. Go beat the Rams when you don't have Micah Parsons. Your locker room will sit there and go like, oh, well, you've obviously moved on, so we're going to start our process of moving on as well. Any team interested in acquiring Prescott would have to take a long look at his contract. Some of the cap hits are astronomical in the coming years, but Khan is known to be a guru when it comes to the finances and deals. There's no reason to believe that he couldn't make something work for Prescott if a trade were to happen during the 2026 offseason. Steelers general manager Omar Khan signs for and meets with fans during the team's 2023 training camp at St. Vincent College in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Fans in Dallas shouldn't be panicking just yet, but there were already some rumors about Prescott's long-term position with the Cowboys during the 2025 offseason. Certain reports were eventually debunked because it was quite literally impossible for Jones to entertain the idea of dealing Prescott after the franchise altered the quarterback's contract. Prescott has a no-trade clause, but that can always be waived, especially if he is upset about how Jones moves forward. If the Cowboys trade Parsons and pick up a plethora of draft capital, and then go on to invest in a first-round signal caller, Prescott may be requesting to be traded as well. That's a long ways away from happening, but the Steelers immediately come to mind as a team that would likely be interested. Quarterback Dak Prescott walks off the field after the Dallas Cowboys lost to the Green Bay Packers in the 2024 NFC Wild Card game. Steelers' best-case scenario would be emergence of Will Howard. It's not easy to make a name for oneself in the NFL, and it's even tougher for players like Will Howard who were drafted in the 6th round. Pittsburgh will be in the quarterback market once again in 2026 if Aaron Rodgers is serious about retirement, so it would be a fantastic development if Howard solidifies himself as the next starter in the Steel City. Do you think that the Steelers would inquire about trading for Prescott?